And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, where we teach you how to get, close, keep, and capitalize on each and every customer you come in contact with. But why do we do that? So that you can have a more beautiful, wonderful business that does what? That gives you an even more beautiful, wonderful life. I am your host, best-selling author Sadon Long, and today we're talking about things that don't run customers away. And the reason I've been talking about it this week is because, man, I took a ton of calls last week. And I know you don't really care about my life all that much, but still, took a ton of calls with a bunch of clients, and there were just some things that kept coming up. And the things that kept coming up were really things that they were struggling with, and part of the reason their business wasn't able to accomplish the goals that they started the business with the idea of those businesses being able to accomplish, i.e., give them sales so that they could play, so that they could pay people, so that they could pay themselves, so they could pay off their investment. Because if there's no wealth transfer, it's going to be pretty hard to get good people. I mean, think about it. You at home, if you got to choose between two jobs, which one do you typically choose? The one that pays really, really well. So if you're a small business owner and you can't pay market rate for the great people, the people who are great at their jobs, the people whose work can make your job a whole lot easier and get you to your goals a whole lot faster, then what are you stuck with? People who can't get you there. People who you're cool with, but really secretly deep down inside, you would rather not have on payroll. You know, how many people sitting at home right now or on their way to work or sitting at work see people each and every day? It's like, man, why do we even hire these people? Usually hire those people because they couldn't afford anybody better. Okay. Now, with big businesses, there's enough volume, there's enough sales, there's enough billing going out in some cases to make it easy to overcome having a few bad employees. Okay. We got 500 people working in this building. So if 50 of them suck, maybe I got 50 other people that are extraordinary to hold those 50 people accountable and make sure that they don't keep us from making money. And then plus we can always hire, and then we use these HR firms and we'll get more people in and it'll just go okay. And maybe they won't be the greatest company, maybe they won't be Fortune 500, but they'll go okay for a long period of time and you'll be able to, get a check from them. But if you're a small business, you got what, 5 employees maybe, two or three partners. So if you got 5 employees and none of them are paid market rate, how you gonna keep them? How you gonna keep them from looking for another job? How you gonna keep them from complaining about the things that they can't do because they don't have enough money because you don't pay well? And in a lot of cases, and tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, leave it in the comments, please. You know, if you are doing well, even if you have money from a savings or you got money from a spouse or you got money from your other job, but you're not paying your people well, how long does that typically last before they start turning on you and being jealous, hating on you? You pull up in your nice car and, they can barely pay their bills. You got on your nice outfit, your nice shoes, your name's all on the front and on the billboards. So now you have people who quietly, secretly are sabotaging you and keeping you from being successful over money. You know, if it, if you're a follower of Daniel Pink says the first thing you want to get off the table is money. But I can't offer you money that I'm not making. So again, things that are running customers away, keeping you from making the type of money you need to make, Not for you, but so that you can pay your people. And then if you're a real solid business owner, like most of you are at home, you don't want to miss payroll because you don't want to see the people you have to suffer the embarrassment of going to the bank and find out the money's not there. You don't want to have those phone calls with people saying, well, I tried to cash my check. I got to pay my bills. I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my rent. And the money's not there. So as much as we, kind of don't really want to feel like a salesperson and we don't want to really focus on sales, we want to focus on, our dream and our passion. The unfortunate truth is sales are important. So with that being said, let's just kind of talk about some of the things that run people off and make it feel like you're desperate for sales. Because again, if you get yourself into that position that I just talked about, where you're struggling to make payroll, you're struggling to hire great people, you're being forced to have to work yourself, and hell, maybe it's even putting your relationship with your spouse in jeopardy, then now you might go too hard. Now you might forget that the people that you're trying to gain trust and create value with and for and be seen as valuable by are human beings too. So when you do that, what tends to happen is now, no matter how much you post, nobody's inquiring. Used to be you post and, hey man, I got 2, 3 inquiries. Used to be you post and, you got engagement and, you got follows out of it. And now it's just kind of like, blah, blah, blah. So here's some things that you should really look at. Number one, and things that are running people away is, are you only talking about buy my stuff? So again, think about it. Somebody you didn't send for, somebody you didn't call, shows up at your door. And they say, hey, I'm selling this. How many times are you actually going to give them your money? How many times are you going to answer the door? After a while, you're going to see them coming and turn off the light and act like you're not there. Well, that's what happens when people start ignoring your post. We call it, post fatigue or ad fatigue. Meaning people just get exhausted with you. Because now every time they see your name on their timeline, or they see your name, in their notifications, she trying to sell me some whatever. And in person, if that's the person you become, then people start avoiding you altogether. And if people start to avoid you, how likely are they to recommend you? Need some recommendations, need some referrals, right? But if you run everybody off, and you piss everybody off, how do you get referrals? And I know, whoever the business coach is you sat down with, they were like, hey man, you got to be consistent. Got to keep asking. Got to always be selling. That's what they told you, right? If you don't ask, they don't get. If you don't ask, you don't eat. So you always got to be, posting 3, 4, 5 times a day. And that's true. But here's how you do it without getting ignored. Number one in the not get ignored category is always post about things that your clients or potential clients are interested in. One of the things that you can do is post articles. Now you're like, well, why would I post articles? Well, if you're posting articles, then people are engaging with your page. People are leaving comments. People are then building a habit of checking your page because you have the type of content that they are looking for. So if something that they need to know happens, you need to post about it. And not just your opinion, but opinions that are similar to your opinion by people that they respect. If I said it, okay, well, you're supposed to say it. It's your company. But now what if 10 other people said it? What if Oprah said it? What if Steve Jobs said it? What if Dr. Umar said it? I don't know. you know, but now you want to have these articles that support your argument, that support your offer. Your argument and your offer, might be, something along the lines of, if you're me, is that, hey, sales are important. And then I'll post something like maybe Big Mike talking about it. If your business isn't profitable, then you don't have a business. Maybe I'll put an article, by someone else who is in the same space that I'm in. A Gary Vee, a Donald Miller, a Frank Kern, an Alex Hormozi, an Alan Weiss, that supports what I'm saying. Now, the reason you want to do that, again, because it gives you credibility. So now what you're saying and the people around you are saying all looks like the same thing. And now your visibility, your credibility have both been increased because now people associate you with people who are much more celebrity famous than you maybe, or maybe they have a little bit more experience, they have a little bit more notoriety. And I know you're saying, why would I want to freaking do that? That just sounds crazy. I'm a show somebody who does what I do. Won't they then go to them for the business? No, because then what you get to say is, hey, I'm better than anybody who's cheaper than me, and I'm better than anybody who costs more than me when you factor in the price. So for me, you might say, well, Donald Miller's probably better than you. He might be. But what's he charging? And for the price, how much better is he? Okay. So if he can get you 1.2 and I can get you $1 million, but there's a difference in our price of $3,000, how much better is he? Especially if you didn't have the extra $3,000. Shout out to Donald Miller, by the way. So again, the first thing you really want to start talking to is like, how do I get people to stay on my page, consistently go to my page, consistently be checking in on my page, so that I can then build a relationship with them that allows them to trust me enough to come to an event, to buy a course, to be a part of a study or a webinar that I'm running. Well, articles are one way to do it. Okay. Now, another way to do it is what I'm doing right now, which is edutainment. So now we're kind of having a conversation. I'm kind of entertaining you. We're joking around a little bit, but at the same time, we're talking about how to actually do things that if you're at home, you want to know. Like, how do I get people to buy my stuff, but at the same time, not run everybody off? Because maybe I'm just slightly out of balance. You might have heard the Gary Vee left, right. And that's one way of thinking. It's like, hey, I'm gonna give them entertainment and content and just fun facts, and then I'm gonna ask them to buy something. Then there's the Alex Hormozi way, which is, hey man, you just keep giving them content till they ask, where can they buy? And then there's the Frank Kern method, which is kind of the one I think I like the best. I have my own variation of, which is I'm gonna teach you stuff every day, and then by the way, if you need some help, at the end of everything. So now I'm kind of selling every day, but I'm not beating you over the head with it. So again, let's look at each one of those individually. So now I want to keep people on my page. I want to keep people checking back to my page. And one thing we talked about was articles. Now the next thing we talked about was creating video and podcasts and content and shorts and reels. So now what do I create those reels about? Because again, I don't understand this left, right thing. It's probably what you're saying at home. Okay. Well, the left is answering questions, picking out topics that you know is going to help your client get to their goal easier, simpler, faster, with less stress. Now, that also includes avoiding things that are going to keep them from reaching their goal. Like today, we're talking about how to sell without sounding salesy, how to avoid getting ignored. So again, that's what the left is. And then the third thing, or the right would be, now you ask for a sale. I've been teaching you something all week. I've been talking about mistakes people are making all week. So at the end of the week, we're going to say, hey, buy my stuff. And that, you'll get a little bit of success with that. That's just the basic everyday marketing method that most people use, which to a certain degree it works if the front part is right, the left. Because by answering the questions, what you get is social proof. Hey, I can actually help you. If I'm teaching you how to do the thing that I'm going to sell you, then the belief is that, hey, this person knows what they're doing. Rachel Ray is a great example. Rachel Ray made meals. So you assumed that Rachel Ray could cook. So then at the end, Rachel Ray started selling cookware. Irma Lagasse, cookware. Guy Fieri, restaurants. But the demonstration was in the cooking. The demonstration was in the going to the diners and drive-ins and giving you an inside peek that particular person knew what they were talking about. So for you, that left might be going out and showing someone how to till the ground to prepare to plant flowers for the spring. It might be how to avoid getting your flowers or your garden eaten up by rabbits and squirrels. So you might go out and you might show them how to build some fencing. And then at the end of the week or the day, depending on the method we're using, what you'll get is an opportunity to then say, hey, if you'd like me to come to your house and build the fence for you, click the link below. Now, most people have the click the link below part down, but what they don't have is the interesting part before it. So before click the link, they spend the whole time going, buy my stuff. So you kind of want to teach them and educate them about things that they have questions about. So for example, if you were in weight loss, you'd want to say, hey, if you got questions about, quote unquote, the shot, 5 things you need to know before taking the shot. If you got questions about the shot, here's the top 3 brands. If you have questions about the shot, here's a list of people who've taken the shot. And then you post articles about celebrities who've taken the shot or who've had positive things to take away from their taking the shot to help support your argument. Now, if Kylie Jenner said the shot was cool, and I'm not saying she did or didn't, but if Kylie Jenner, for example, said it, or maybe Oprah said it, you post something about them that you found online to help support your argument. But the idea is that I want to give first. And then what happens is the law of reciprocity kicks in. If I keep giving, and this is the Alex Hormozi method as we're kind of jumping into it. The law of reciprocity, Robert Cialdini, persuasion, all those things. Basic core books that any marketer's read. Okay. But again, if I keep giving, then eventually the people I give to are going to feel bad and then give back. They're going to feel obligated to give back because they don't want to be seen as takers or users. So at some point, law of reciprocity kicks in and they start asking, well, where can I buy your stuff? Man, this stuff is really great. How do I get it? But again, same thing applies here. Is the content that you create has to be built around things that they have questions about. How I made 600K or helped the client make 600K in 5 months, which eventually led to them doing over $1 million. There's a blueprint for that. So now it's like, okay, cool. I'd like to know how to do that. Okay, cool. Click the link below. Go to grownandrich.com. Enroll for the next webinar on April 2nd. And I'll show you step by step how we did it. We started out here with one brand, and then we took the 5 months, put together a game plan. I'll show you exactly how my game plan worked so that you can use it too. And as I said in the description, there are no magic bullets. We just stack good on top of good, which is why I'm going through each one of these so that you can then stack good on top of good. So I had a good topic. I gave good information. And then I had a good close or a good call to action. So if I did the 3 things or 4 things that I needed to do and I could check every one of those boxes, now my chance at success goes up significantly. Yeah. So again, go back to the Alex Hormozi method one more time. His idea upon the whole thing is just keep giving. And then eventually people will want to work with you. Now, here's another method. Now, I was going to go to Frank Kern next, but I'm actually going to go to Donald Miller. I like Donald Miller. I love Donald Miller. Actually, I love Donald Miller. Shout out to Donald. Donald's is more, here's all the information. So for my people at home are like, hey, they say you're giving away too much information. Okay. What Donald does is he gives you the information and then he encourages you to join the groups to talk about the execution and the implementation. Because he realizes that, hey, if somebody gives you a whole lot of information, man, it's kind of like trying to drink out of a fire hose. So the likelihood that you can execute it all, and this is something that, I struggle with myself and coaching people, is like sometimes you assume that if you give people 5 steps that they can do all 5. Okay. And then when they actually go to implement it, you find out that, I gave them 5 steps, but they really only understood 1 or 2. So now you can then do subscription based. You can then do consulting on a quarterly or bi-weekly or whatever base so that we can now check your progress. Information is free, but let me check your progress to ensure, if we go back and listen to maybe about 5 minutes ago, to ensure that you're getting the result. So let's read the book, join my group. Now in the group, you get to say, hey, here's what's going on with me. Here's what I tried. Here's what I did. And it didn't work. Because I know for my own clients, my follow-up with them is extremely important. So we sent out an email. How many people opened it? Okay, we had a post. Did we get any inquiries? Now, typically, I don't really care about likes as much as I do inquiries because I realize that buyers don't hit the like button. Buyers call you, buyers DM you. You Excuse me. So you could actually have buyers who never liked one post, but they could call you, DM you. Now your post, engagement might not go up all that much, but your bank account might. So with my clients, it's the follow up most times that is actually more important than the information because they did it and then maybe they did it wrong. Like, yeah, I see where you were trying to go with this post, but we need to change the top part. You know, I see where you were trying to go with this post, but you forgot this. And now once we get those things corrected, then all of a sudden you see a significant jump in income. You see a significant jump in inquiries. Now, you see an actual moving of the needle. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people, if you give them the information, like if you give me information, usually I can get it right after a few tries all on my own. So some things I really don't need to call anybody and ask any questions about. But the majority of people don't get it right. So now what you're selling to them and what you're encouraging them to do so they can get to their goal easier, faster, simpler, with less stress, and avoid failure is let me walk you through it. Let me critique your work. Let me give you suggestions. Let me work with you over a longer period of time. Like example, we're running the 600K in 5-month blueprint webinar. And it says clearly in the ad that if you don't get 4 times your investment, that I'll work with you until you do. See, so now it's like for the people who can get it right off the bat, hey, you invested $99. Now you got a chance to make $400 every day. So for $99, you get a blueprint that could do well more than 600K over the next 3 or 4 years. Because typically if you do those things long enough, you get better at them. But for the people who maybe it didn't click right out of the gate, or being in a webinar doesn't really work for them and they don't quite get it, man, I'll work with you. I'll show you what to say. I'll look at your ads. I'll look at what you're doing. Just like we do on a Make Money Fast Call. Like, these aren't things that I'm trying to shove down your throat. These are just me showing you how to structure your business so that you help people achieve their goals and at the same time achieve your goal, which is ultimately to build a beautiful, wonderful business, so that you can sleep good at night, so that you can be a good daughter, so that you can be a good son, that you can be a good spouse, you can be a good parent. And what does it really mean to be a good parent? It means that you can help your children financially, put them in the best schools, give them food, clothing, shelter, cell phones, internet, the things that they need to be successful, college. Now, some people, they're like, man, I can get a job. Yeah, and for some people, getting a job does allow you to do those things. But at what cost? Because if you build something that people really need and want, and you master the art of relationship building and closing customers to where you can now hire people to run your business and know that each and every month all your obligations are going to be met. Now, how much time do you have to be a parent? There are tons of kids out there talking about all they did was throw money at me. They never spent any time with me. They never went to any games. They never, felt supported by their parent. But if you could get this thing right, now you pass something down to your kids. Now you have something that your kids could share with you and do work with you to build. Always talking about generational wealth, but there has to be a wealth transfer, right? And as baby boomers are retiring and going on to be with the Lord, there's this huge gap of executives. There's this huge gap of wise individuals and advisors and coaches and leaders that needs to be filled. So for my grown folks, this is your time. This is your time to step in where grandpop or pop was and fill that void as the new leader, as the new head, whether it be of a job, whether it be of a company, whether it be of an organization. So if you're in that 40 to 55 range, the people who came before you are starting to retire and fall off. So imagine what you could do with the businesses that they no longer can run. And if you're at home and you're a parent and you're in that category, or you want to be in that category where you can pass a business down, one of the most difficult hurdles to get over is selling, which is why nobody ever wants to talk about it, which is why most of your marketers run away from it, which is why most of your branding people don't want to touch it. Everybody wants to say, hey, that's not our job. But if you're the business owner, every single person you hire needs to be selling. Again, I stand with the business owners. Every person you hire needs to be selling. If you have janitors, those janitors need to be selling. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Nice to see you. Glad to have you here. If you need anything, let me know. I'm John. Now, your client's going to be impressed. Like, wow, this is how the groundskeepers and the janitorial staff feel about this place? Yeah, we love it here. This is a wonderful place. And we have a wonderful leader. We're extremely appreciative of being a part of this organization. Now, how would that affect your business? How would it affect your business if your cashiers were upbeat and upselling and wise, intelligent individuals? You sure two's enough? I mean, realistically, you probably want to have at least 3 or 4 of these because, they do run out and sometimes we run out of them. So while we have them, you probably should get 2 more. Now, how would that affect your bottom line? Can you imagine how much more money Dollar Tree would do if the cashiers didn't look so disgusted and tired? And I'm not shooting down Dollar Tree. I'm just saying that a lot of those opportunities just exhaust you because even if you work a lot of hours, it doesn't really give you enough money to do something great. Like buy a nice house or do something nice for your kids or go on a vacation that you saw your friends take or people who you're Facebook friends with that you didn't get to go on. You like to go to Cancun. You like to go to Vegas. But if your needs aren't being met financially, how do you do it? So let's get to the Frank Kern method. So we talked about Donald, and Donald sells the actual implementation and the assessment of how well you're implementing, which can then be used to build a subscription program, a bi-weekly coaching program, a quarterly coaching consulting program. Because now, instead of him saying, here, buy the product, he's saying, hey, let me come in and make sure that you're doing it right. Okay. So now let's go to Frank Kern. Love me some Frank Kern. Shout out to Frank Kern. Love the transformation of Frank Kern, by the way. Go back and look at old Frank Kern when he had with long hair. And now look how cool he looks. So anyway, one thing that Frank does that I love is, oh, by the way. Which is kind of a variation of something I learned from John Maxwell way back in the day too. And I've put my own spin on it because most of this stuff ain't new. Most of this stuff is derived and tailored to your particular customer base or demographic that you learn from other people, which is why you constantly need to be evolving and improving your amount of knowledge and skill set. But Frank does, oh, by the way. So what he'll do is he'll do the same thing everybody else does. He'll pick a topic. He'll teach you about the topic. He'll show you some cool stuff. And then at the end of it, he'll say, oh, by the way, if you're interested in blah, 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 which most times is his help, his program, his service, just click the link below. Or just go to my website, or just go to, whatever. For him, it's go to Frank Kern, I think. For me, it's go to grownandrich.com. So if you've been watching this video and you're like, well, man, how do I actually put this stuff together? Or could you maybe take a look and see what I'm doing? Or, what else do I need to know? Just go over to Grown and Rich. How much better would life be if you had a free phone call with somebody whose work has actually generated millions of dollars and counting? I mean, I don't know anybody who's done it more than once. Do you? And if you do, are they saying, hey, give me a call? I'm not promising everybody millions, but the possibility of being much better than you are right now, even if it's not millions, it's worth a free call, right? Free call? Free call. So anyway, oh, by the way, so now I give you all of my, good information. And then when we get to call to action, it's, hey, oh, by the way, then enter your call of action. If you're interested in the following, please go to grownandrich.com. So now, not only have we talked about 4 different ways to create your content and how to get the call to action which leads to a close, you've actually now figured out, if you're watching, that I can actually help you do it if you just went over to grownandrich.com. But let's continue. So now we talked about content, we talked about trust. Let me just wrap this all together because we're at 37 minutes and I don't want to go for 45 because I want to try to, not make this a fire hose experience. Okay. Last and certainly but not least is you just really want to be able to say, I care. Because people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So in all of your marketing and all of your posting and all of your content creation, you have to mix in some compassionate, kind, uplifting, empowering words of encouragement. Because again, the whole thing is about not being salesy. We talked about left, right, and we talked about answering questions that they have questions, things that they know they have questions about. But also in the mix to that, depending on what your brand is, you want to be compassionate and kind. Not sympathetic, compassionate. If you can be empathetic without being sympathetic, then do it. But I would just say that you should stick to this right here. I's and U's. Okay. Now, whenever marketing or posting or whatever you want to call it, on the I's, it needs to be about the struggles, and the U's need to be about the benefits. I know what it's like to spend thousands of dollars on marketing that doesn't work. I know what it's like to continue to keep posting and get no customers. I know what it's like to look at your bank account and see money going down and going out and no money coming in. Especially when you start talking about it going to websites and web designers and all of these services and apps and things that you need to quote unquote run your business. But here's the cool thing. When you finally figure out how to have a conversation with a customer, all that changes. Once you figure out how to actually have a conversation and get the attention of a customer, then all of a sudden you'll start to see your numbers go up. You'll start to see your reach go up. You'll start to see your inbound calls going up, your inquiries going up. And then ultimately you'll start to see your sales go up. Now imagine, what would it look like if your sales went up? Now you'd be able to buy your kid that car for their birthday. Now you'd be able to take that vacation. Now you'd be able to help your mom. I just did it. On the eyes, that's where all the pain is. That's where all the struggle is. That's me. I carry that. The U's, you carry all of the good things, the benefits, the excitement. So now when you're structuring these and you're putting them together, what you want to do is you want to keep all the good stuff on the client, all the bad stuff on you. And if you want to appear more trustworthy, tell more truth. No, I mean, I know, honestly, I really do know what it's like to go broke. I know what it's like to give money to keep the website on and keep your internet on and all those things, and not be able to necessarily do anything else with the hope that things turn around. But if you keep doing it and you get better at it, things will turn around. You'll be able to finally start to pay your bills. You'll be able to finally start to hire good people. You just got to keep stacking good on top of good. And by the way, if you're interested in more in-depth, one-on-one, customized conversations that you could then use to better understand and learn this stuff, just go over to growingrich.com. Click the link. They're going to send me an email. I'm going to send you one back. And then we're going to talk about the things that can actually help you achieve your goals in the fastest amount of time with the least amount of stress. But until next time, this has been another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for adult business owners and entrepreneurs, where we teach you how to get, close, keep, and capitalize on each customer you come in contact with. I am your big bro, aka the most dangerous man in marketing, aka better than your 401k, Sadon Long. It has been an honor and a pleasure as always. So until the next time, have a great day and just keep on going until you get where you got to go. I'm out.